With Neverness to Everness releasing roughly 6 hours from the time of uploading this, I thought now would be an important time for me to update my tier list. Today we're going to take a look at my previous tier list and update it with some of the changes that I've kind of personally gained from experiencing other people's content, as well as some of the opinions from the Chinese server. Before we get into that, I will be live on YouTube as well as probably Twitch at 8 p.m. tonight on release night. That's 8 p.m. Pacific time as soon as the game is releasing, as well as tomorrow the 29th at 9 a.m. and we'll be streaming pretty much all day. We're going to be giving away a few battle passes, a few monthly passes, as well as doing our Nonally giveaway, so it's not too late to join that. And then to wrap up the stream on the 29th, we will be buzzing my head because we reached our 1,000 subscribers goal. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It has been an awesome time and I look forward to continuing to make content for you guys. Now, kind of diving right into the tier list, this is my initial reaction tier list from about a month ago. This is kind of how I was viewing everybody. Daffodil S tier, Nonally S tier, and then everybody else following in line behind them. We are going to completely reset this and I'm going to give my opinion as to why the characters have changed and where they're located now. So we've wiped the slate completely clean. We've got a fresh tier list ready to be built up. And I'm going to be starting with our main character, Esper Zero. I'm actually going to be putting Esper Zero in the A rank, with the female character slightly above the male main character because it is what it is. But my opinions on Esper Zero has really changed after playing the game a lot more. Their ability to allow you to get those Esper cycle reactions off so quickly is super useful, and I think that they're going to be a core member of many of my teams. Next up, we'll get an easy one out of the way with Mint. Mint is just not good. Mint is a great character, Mint is a cute character, but she's just not a very good one in the game. That is not going to stop me from building a Mint and trying to beat endgame with her, because I think that that would be fun, and maybe it'd be good content, but we'll see. Mint bad. Mint bad. Following up Mint bad, we're going to get Edwin out of the way. I think Edwin also bad. I don't see myself ever really using him. He does provide some healing, but I don't think he's a great healer. I think he'll be like crazy outclassed by like any released support in the future. I think Mint bad. I think Edgar bad. It's rough for them. Another A rank we could go off of. I think Adler good. Adler very good. I think Adler's really easy to use. He does he's not a damage dealer, but he does deal some damage. He provides a lot of support. He provides that incantation element in order to get off those elemental reactions. I think Adler very good. Very easy to use, just popping off his shield. You could do that off cooldown and you can continually keep your team sustained with him. Adler good. I'd probably put him up here in the A tier with Esper Zero. I think that they provide a lot of utility and I think that they're really solid picks. They'll probably make up my first team right off the bat. I think that they're really good characters to start the game off with. Next, we'll do our limited banner character with Nonally. I think Nonally is just going to be a really solid main DPS on release. She's going to carry us through 1.0 for sure. I think you can get the job done with other characters, but if you want a really easy time, Nonally is going to be an easy time. Super, super easy, fun character. And she's a cute character, so I hope that she does well for their first banner. I think that their second banner might do a little bit better in Hattori, which brings me to Hattori, my opinions of Hattori. I haven't gotten my hands on her too much, but from what I've seen, I think Hattori's she's not going to be a easy character to just slot in, but I think if you build a character around her, she could be really solid. I'm just going to put her at the bottom of A for now. I think we might update that in the future. She's peak character design, really cool skills. She looks great in combat, but I don't know if she's going to be that S tier, just gets the job done without a bunch of setup. So we'll see as we get more experience with her in the future. Next up, we've got Haniel. Haniel ended up just being a really good support. With a lot of the changes that they've made to her, I don't think she's necessarily going to be S tier, but I think off the bat, I think she is going to be A tier and just a really solid quick support option. You don't have to have her on field for practically any time at all. You just pop her in, get her buffs, then swap her out and do more damage with your main damage dealer. I think that is the main value that she provides. Next up, we'll roll with G1. I think G1 is a really, really good character. I think she provides so much to an account early on. She's super easy to use. Her utility is awesome. Her damage is decent. And I think that as a beginning character, she'd be really easy to build your account around and bring a lot of value, and easy to build a team around as well. So I'd put her at the bottom of S tier. I think that she is verging on being like a high A tier character, but she's simple, she does damage, she can provide support. Great character. Next up is Daffodil. Daffodil was riding high on the S tier for a while there, but everybody's talking about Daffodil nerfs, Daffodil nerfs. Daffodil didn't just get nerfed. Like they moved some of her power around. She's still a really great character. She's not bad. I wouldn't put her necessarily in the must-have S tier. I would put her at the top of A tier, because as a standard banner S rank, it's been discussed that she's just going to be overshadowed by Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa's my favorite character, so I'm not too upset about that. But I would put Lacrimosa in the S tier, but we don't have enough information on her yet. She's actually shaping up to be way stronger than I expected, but Daffodil can still very much get the job done. In order to get the most out of her currently, you need Bai Chang, and Bai Chang being one of the other standard S ranks, he's not going to be a guaranteed character that you could get. So if you hit one and use your selector on the other, you could kind of build around them. However, I'm not so sure about that. I wouldn't put her in the S rank anymore, because you're not just going to throw her into any team and have an easy time of it. You're going to need to build around her to get the most out of her. Bai Chang though, Bai Chang is an excellent damage dealer. He is a hard to play character, but when played well, he can outclass not only in damage. I think he definitely can like peak really high, but he's really difficult. Getting his kit going to its maximum potential is not easy. So I'd put him at the top of A rank. I think if you invest time into learning him, you get a lot of damage out of him for sure. Next up is Skia. I didn't put Skia on my previous tier list, and I don't know why. I messed up. Skia, I'd put him in the B tier, maybe even the C tier, but I don't think he's like super good. I don't like his playstyle a lot. Those are my personal opinions. In terms of numbers, he's like pretty mid-range. I think B tier kind of suits him, and that's where we would put him. I would only really be using him for his Lakshana element, which, like, if you know Lakshana, it's not the strongest element anyways, but I'd put him in the B tier. Speaking of Lakshana, we've got our Angel Hathor here. I do like Hathor a lot. I think her character design is sick. I love white-haired characters, and the angel wing biker, like, she's dope. So absolutely S tier for design. We all know that. But there's been a lot of discussions about how clunky she is. I don't think she's too clunky. I think she's certainly usable. A lot of people talk about how if you have Hathor unlocked, you could get a piece of furniture in your house that'll generate you equipment on a day-to-day basis, which is cool. It can generate you good equipment. However, I don't think that that makes her a must-have, but being able to trickle in those resources is beneficial. I think when you take into account those little resources, which are neat, but then you take into account her kit and stuff, like, you really can't justify putting her in the S tier, in my opinion. I think if anything, she's decently high on the A tier. She doesn't provide a whole lot of boss damage. She doesn't do terribly in mobbing though. She just has some issues and clunkiness in terms of her kit. Like, if you use her skill, it's going to knock enemies away, which is going to then be a struggle to have to remob them up, and it's just kind of messy. But she's really cool. And I think that that's what these games are about, is playing cool characters that look cool and do cool things. So I'd place her pretty high up on the A tier. Now, it looks like we just got a bunch of A tier characters here, which isn't necessarily bad. I think that that's a pretty good thing for a game's launch. I think as the game moves on, I'm going to move Haniel up higher in A tier. I think she's actually really useful. But as we move on, some of these characters will go lower in rank. Like, we've got a bunch of characters here on the screen that we're not even going to put on the tier list because we don't exactly know what they do yet. And if I did know what they do, I couldn't tell you guys because that would be breaking an NDA. But I don't know what they do. But Alphard, I can't wait for Alphard to be playable. I really hope she is. Like, that's crazy. But and Shinku. Shinku's really cool. But moving on to our next character, we've got Sakiri. You know, Sakiri, I was kind of sleeping on. After seeing what they've done with her, she's just a really solid character. She's great for mobbing, yes, but she's also really good for the support and the buffs that she brings to your team. You really shouldn't be mad if you hit her early on in pity or if you hit her on the standard banner. I think she could bring a lot to your team and actually be really useful. Like, if we look at these three characters up here, like not only G1 Sakiri, like you should be happy if you hit any of these. Of course, Nautilus is the limited banner character, so you want to hit her. But yeah, Sakiri is actually really good. Like really, really good. So keep that in mind. Sakiri good. Next up, we've got our free S rank character. We're going to get 5 copies of her as well as 5 copies of her weapon as we level up our City Tycoon. We're not going to get that right off the bat. It's going to take investment into your account. It may take several weeks to fully benefit from it. But Chiz is a good character, maybe even a great character. She's not easy to use, much like Bai Cheng, but she is really strong. And one of her cool passives is that you generate the city currency fawns as you use her. So if you take advantage of that, you're getting an extra benefit to your account. So if you're going to use her, I would suggest using her in like your day-to-day content so that you can generate those extra fawns for yourself. Overall though, I wouldn't value her insanely high. Personally, I think she could be the backbone of a second team for me. If I decide to go that route and build her in that way, she can be a strong main damage dealer, but she is a difficult to manage damage dealer. So take that into account. You'll probably want to watch a guide on how to use her before using her for sure. Basically wrapping up the list, essentially we've got Fadia. Fadia, I've kind of slept on since the last tier list. I've learned a lot more about her. I think she can bring a whole lot of sustain to a team. And as I've explained before, in endgame teams, she can practically make your team invincible if you have extra copies of her and you have her constellations unlocked and you're able to take advantage of her to her fullest. She could be really, really powerful. I don't know if I'm going to be like super keen on using her or building an account around her personally, but she is able to be really strong and she can bring a lot to your account if you are not building around her. If you have other things and you're like adding her on for the survivability that she provides, you're not going to be dealing damage with her or anything. That's not what she's here for. Then we've got Aurelia. I know nothing about Aurelia other than it's a cute character. So we'll see where she ends up. We'll just pop her right here in B tier for now. I'm not sure where she's going to end up, but we'll see. We do get a free copy of her on our 3rd day of login, so we'll all get to try her out. And free character's a free character, so that's pretty sweet. But as you can see here, we'll put Tagedo in the D tier. I don't have an F tier up here, but if there was, that's where Tagedo would go. The rest of the characters here are characters that aren't out yet. We don't know much about them, but we've got some really cool characters lined up for the future of Neverness to Everness, and I look forward to experimenting with them and playing them in the game. But that about wraps it up. I'd love to know down in the comments what you guys think of my tier list, if there's any changes that you would make. This is my personal tier list, so it is what it is. I hope you guys like my background. I've got a little bit more personality going on. We can cut to full screen and you can see all my fun stuff, so that's cool. I'll be able to do that on stream, I guess. But yeah, that wraps it up here for this tier list. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've been enjoying this Neverness to Everness content, a subscription would be greatly appreciated. I will be live tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific time, maybe a little bit earlier than that, doing like a pre-show, just hanging out with you guys. And then I will be live tomorrow, April 29th, Wednesday at like 9 a.m. And I'll be streaming pretty much all day, or at least until I have to pick my daughter up from daycare. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. Way more Neverness to Everness content to come, and I hope to see you there. Peace.